This week's edition of NJBIA's Minding Your Business is brought to you in part by AT&T, helping family, friends, and neighbors connect in meaningful ways every day. From the first phone call 140 years ago to mobile video streaming today, AT&T innovates to improve lives. New Jersey's community colleges, aligning education to build an innovative workforce. Find out how your business can join and benefit at njpathways.org. And by New Jersey Business Magazine, providing the critical information needs for New Jersey's business community for more than 65 years.
Welcome to NJBIA's Minding Your Business. I'm Bob Considine. Well, it's a new year, but many business owners will face some old challenges and they'll quietly overcome them. Which is why in 2023, NJBIA is launching a year-long campaign to highlight the business owners who take the risks and rise above to provide the products, services, and jobs that support New Jersey's economy. Here to discuss the Year of the Business Owner campaign is NJBIA President and CEO, Michele Siekerka. Michele, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Bob. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. You know where we live. Year of the Business Owner, 2023. What is this about, Michele, and why now?
Why now? Because now more than ever, it's important to put a focus on the challenges and opportunities for New Jersey business. We're coming off of our annual Business Outlook survey, where I believe it was about 82% of those surveyed said that New Jersey was either not at all affordable or hardly affordable for them. So that leads us to say, what is it that's keeping them from becoming the next best iteration of themselves, from being able to attract and recruit the best workforce, to drive profit, to reinvest back in their company? What's getting in their way? We think we know some of the answers, but we want to tell it from their perspective directly, and we want to personalize the business owner, what I call boots on the ground.
Right. You've done this quite a bit. Michele is a member of the Easy Pass Hall of Fame. She travels the state all the time. But so what kind of feedback leading up to here have you gotten? And what are you interested in seeing this year? What changes might you think you hear?
Well, I do think that this issue of affordability clearly has been resonating since the last election, but the challenge was that our policymakers were talking about affordability from an individual perspective, which is significantly important. All right, you have to be able to live, work, and raise a family here in New Jersey.
Business owners are people too, right?
Absolutely, we have homes, we live here, so we know the personal challenges when it comes to tax. But what wasn't happening was the issues of affordability are different for business. And so we, as the association, have teed up what we believe that is and what it means to be regionally competitive. And we always have a proactive agenda. But now we want to validate that through the voice of the business owner, because I think it makes a difference.
And we should let folks know out there that you'll be doing segments for this show, Minding Your Business. We'll go out on the road with you, and you'll talk to the business owners. We'll bring you reports here, which is great. Stuff in the New Jersey Business Magazine.
Award-winning
New Jersey Business Magazine. Michele will have a monthly story about the businesses she's talking to in there. What else are you going to be doing for the campaign?
No, so I'm going to be out. I'm going to be boots on the ground. So I plan on traveling the state, putting some more miles on that car, some more Easy Pass Hall of Fame, but really sitting down with small groups and asking them a series of questions, and not just the usual, hey, what do you think about taxes? No. What keeps you up at night as a business owner? What is it that drives you as a business owner? What's the first thing you do when you show up in the office every day, and what's the last thing you do before you turn out the light? And what do you need to be able to reinvest and take your company to the next level?
Very interesting. And will they just be small businesses? Will they be nonprofits?
It's going to be a range. The focus is really going to be the small to mid-sized business, but there's a reason why we didn't call it the Small Business Owner Program, because I didn't want it to be limited in nature, because there are many companies, especially in the innovation economy, that are all different sizes that need our attention.
Plus, the acronym for Year of the Business Owner is YOBO. And if you did small business, it would be YOSBO, and it wouldn't sound quite as good.
Absolutely. But we learned this morning backward, it's oh boy.
Oh boy, that's right, And also, will you go to like ELC, employer legislative committees, and you're going to meet with different local chambers as well?
Yes, so we are going to leverage our great collaboration that we have with our regional chambers of commerce and with our employer legislative committees, looking for opportunities to sit down with their boards or select groups within those. I don't want to go to a chamber meeting and be a talking head. I'm not going out there for a half an hour and talking policy, how I think we're going to help to fix things in BIA. I want to sit and have a round table discussion where I am literally facilitating and people are feeding my head with what's going on with them.
And you mentioned something earlier about this is all about personalization.
Yes.
When you weigh that, I think that's a really effective communication tool. You know, we always deal with policy here. And sometimes it goes over people's heads, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you actually draw people in who might not even be aware of it. So when you talk about personalizations, don't business owners sometimes have like the best stories ever of how they started? Is there any one, I'm going to put you on the spot, any one anecdote where you're like, that is the best business story I've ever heard?
Wow. You know, I'd actually have to think about that because I think I've heard so many unique ones. But I will say that what makes the business owner the incredible person that they are is their resilience, because they always bounce back. And what do we see all the time? Great businesses make great communities. Right? Who is it? Talk about personalizing the business owner. Who is it that after working all day, probably making a product or delivering a service, taking care of a workforce, turning on the lights, literally themselves, you know, chief bottle washer, cook, Indian chief, who then goes home, takes off the proverbial suit. Today it might be leggings in a remote environment, right? But they're putting on, you know, the Girl Scout badge to go be the leader. They're putting on the baseball hat to go out and support. Exactly. Your coach, right? I coach. Like we all did those things, and that's why businesses make great communities.
All right. I wanted to turn while we have some time with you, Michele. State of the state. Governor Murphy had a State of the State address a few days before we taped this, and wanted to get your overall thoughts. What did you think?
Overall thoughts, you know, I was very appreciative of the good things that the governor highlighted because these are great things for New Jersey. Investment in education, investment in infrastructure. The assistance to the business community that did happen during COVID, the $1 billion-ish of grants and loans. Big shout out to NJBIA and Tim Sullivan and his team, right? However, you know, that's like the tip of the spear because there is so much to do. There is so much pain out there. You know, what we didn't hear about during the speech is the challenges of inflation, the challenges of recruitment and retention, the challenges of supply chain and how this is affecting our businesses every day. Reiterate, we're coming off the grimmest business outlook survey in over 10 years. Our businesses are feeling pain. So it was a great rah-rah. Hey, come on, I'm the Jersey girl, blue and gold pom-poms every day. I just felt a little bit like in between there just needs to be a little bit of realism of where our challenges lie. And he did intimate a bit, like we've got a long way to go.
Yes, he did.
We got to give the nod to the head of the pain that people are feeling, and we don't want to be tone deaf and let people have the perception that we may be tone deaf.
Yeah, and some of the things he's done, I saw your statement, you know, some recent things he's done where he's added flexibility to some of the economic incentives based on remote work. It's a big one.
We advocated for.
Yeah, and there were some other things he's been doing that would lean towards improving the business climate. But at the end of the day, there's not been relief. So when we talk about the unemployment insurance tax, still $1 billion tax over 3 years, there hasn't been any relief for that. Do you think that may happen in 2023?
It was on my Christmas wish list, right? A girl can hope, and we'll continue to push for it. But what we have is we've had a lot of great lifelines. The federal money, some aspect of it was meant for lifelines, but it was also meant for sustainability. Reform, true reform, fixing the UI, giving some attention there, right? Helping in that regard, looking at corporate business tax over time and how that drives or challenges business. The Anchor program, that was great relief to property owners and tenants. Kudos on that, right? And to extend it to tenants. My 31-year-old son is going to get some of that money. Awesome, because his rent is exorbitant. New Jersey business pays almost 50% of property tax. No relief for them.
In the state.
So we're looking for comprehensive long-term reform, which takes the ability to look long game. And I realize in government it's hard to look long game, but it's time that we do it.
You mentioned corporate business tax. I was going to bring that up 2023, this is a big year for corporate business tax. The 2.5% surcharge is supposed to sunset at the end of this year. Where are we on this?
We're hoping that it does. I'm going to say promise made, promise kept. We'll go back to 2017, the first year of the administration.
Right.
Frankly, the business community said, Governor, we understand you need a year to get your economics under your feet. So that's why it was called a surcharge.
Right.
It wasn't called an increase. It was meant to be temporary, to give some temporary relief.
Right.
2 years later, we were in the height of COVID. We could, again, really not push the envelope too hard to say, what are you kidding me? You're not going to let this sunset now in the middle of a pandemic. However, we've overperformed as an economy, and we've got tons of federal money in the state today that's sitting in rainy day and surplus, and we have $4 billion that we borrowed, no other state borrowed, that we borrowed. We've got excess surplus up the wazoo here, okay? That's the time now to say, promise made, promise kept.
Right.
But that should be the first step.
And what should be coming after that?
Well, we should be following the likes of Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and other states that are getting on the bandwagon to drive over a period of time their corporate business tax down. Pennsylvania just announced over 5 years going from just under 9 to just under 5.
Right.
Okay. Bipartisan. And doing the math and understanding there are guardrails in place that if there's a trigger of some sort, we're not going to suck money out of government just for the sake of giving it somewhere.
Right.
We're going to make sure that everything is done in equilibrium and balance. And I truly believe we can do that here and have some real reform.
Yeah, if you think about it, even without the surcharge, you take that away, it's 11.5 with it, highest in the nation. I still think we're near the highest in the nation without it.
Absolutely. And when you combine that with property tax, individual income tax, sales tax, I mean, we're an outlier. We come up 51st all the time on most taxed state in the nation.
And you think about other states, I'll go back to the UI tax, the $1 billion tax. Most states actually used their federal relief funds for the purposes of either partially or fully replenishing it. Do you think that registers with business owners? Like, how close are they paying attention, I guess, is what I'd like to know.
Well, I think that we've kept it, on the burner, not the back burner, but the front burner, and blazing hot, that people actually understand this issue and the impact of this issue. Why is it that everybody else is getting tax cuts, but July 1 every year, New Jersey businesses are getting a tax increase? Because that is what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Last issue, Michele, minimum wage. You've been asked about this. We just hit the new year, and every year you get the calls, oh, it's $1 more. Now we're at 14, 13, I believe, getting to 15. And now, as we go through this, 5-year hike, now I'm starting to hear, well, 15 is not enough. And do you expect this year to call of we should be raising it again? And what do you think the response should be with that?
Yeah, I've been asked by many people, don't you think government should get this back on the agenda?
Right.
Because what's the next round of minimum wage increase going to be?
Right.
My answer, hard stop, no. And why? Because the economy has corrected the situation. The marketplace has corrected the situation. Honestly, minimum wage, it always is a floor, but it's a backstop right now. If you want to attract and retain the best, companies are paying 16, 17, 18 as a start. Benefits and other things, number one. And number two, let's always remember that minimum wage is meant to be for an entry level position.
Right.
Entry meaning you start here.
Yeah.
So the workforce, and I believe in lifelong learning. Each and every one of us owes an obligation to ourselves, to our worker, and to our economy to lift our skills and earn our ability to earn more money.
Yeah. Well, as a lifelong learner, I know you are. I can't wait to hear about the lessons you learn as we go through the Year of the Business Owner campaign. And thank you for being here, and we look forward to having you back.
Thanks so much, Bob.
All right, we'll be back right after these words.
You're first. First to respond. First to put others' lives before your own. And in an emergency, you need a network that puts you first, that connects you to technology and each other, that's built with and for first responders. FirstNet, the only officially authorized wireless network for first responders. Because putting you first is our job.
Okay, at AT&T, everyone gets our best deals on all smartphones.
Let me break it down. You got your new customers.
They get our best deals.
You got your existing customers.
They also get our best deals.
Everyone
Gets the deals.
questions.
Got it. But why did you use a permanent marker?
Because I want to make sure you remember.
I'm gonna get a new whiteboard.
It's not complicated. Only AT&T gives everyone our best deals on every smartphone, like the Samsung Galaxy S21 5G for free.
Welcome back to NJBIA's Minding Your Business. I'm Bob Considine. Our next guest today has spent more than 30 years of his life building successful small businesses through his own hard work and savvy. And now he's taking those lessons learned and providing them to entrepreneurs through his rapidly growing YouTube channel. Here to discuss the aptly named Berruti Success channel and business is John Berruti. John, thank you so much for being here.
Bob, I just want to say thank you for having me down in beautiful Trenton, New Jersey, in your beautiful studio. This place is great. Love it. I love it.
We call it heaven here.
I'm just gonna prepare you, Bob. I've had just a little too much coffee today, so I'm a little ramped up. I'm just letting you know that, okay?
Not
so
decaf.
If I get a little crazy, I apologize. I'm going to try to ramp it back.
That's right. We like the crazy here. So, John, before we get into Berruti Success, can you talk about your journey through business that got you to this point to start with?
Yeah. I'll tell you. I'll try to tell you the story in 5 minutes or less.
Okay.
So
go.
So I was a little baby kid, and my dad was an immigrant from Italy. He came over, fell in love with my mom, and my dad was a chef. They started a restaurant. It actually wasn't a restaurant, Bob. It was a snack stand in a tennis complex in lovely Bricktown, New Jersey. And so my mom and dad scraped up the money, they bought the building, and they turned it into a high-end Northern Italian restaurant, Carla and Ezio's restaurant. They had a phenomenal, successful run. But that being said, you have a beautiful little boy, Bob, and if you want him to have a crazy work ethic, go and buy a restaurant, shove him in, right? Make him work like I did. And he will have an insane work ethic, which is what I got from the restaurant.
That's a big deal through all of this.
Yes. So that was the beginning of it. So I hated it. I'll say it several times during the interview. I hated the restaurant business. Okay. I loved my dad. I loved my mom. Miserable.
Good people.
Okay. Yes. Fast forward high school, right? Kind of a little bit of a geek. I like finance. I like watching finance stations. I like investing stock. At 13 years old. I'm a little bit of a freak.
And a little popular with the ladies at that point.
I don't know about that, Bob, but I appreciate you saying that. See? Yeah, not so much. But I loved finance, right? So I figured I'm not going in the restaurant business. I'm not doing that to myself. I'm going to go and be Gordon Gekko. I don't know what your demographics are, Bob, but they should know who Gordon Gekko is.
They do.
Greed is good. It was the 80s. I'm going.
You had the slick back hair and all that stuff. It was great.
Yeah. So got through high school, and I'm going to go to Seton Hall. I'm going to go to Seton Hall Business School of Business, Stillman, right, for finance. My sister went before me. My sister, God love her, got her education paid for by my dad. Restaurant was doing great. Go 80s was doing terrific. My turn, not so much. So I told him, no problem. I'll take care of it. And listen, my dad helped when he could, right? But the restaurant was struggling. It was tough times. Went to Seton Hall, went through the whole 4 years, and like I had said 2 seconds ago, I was paying for myself. So to get myself through Seton Hall, I did multiple jobs, right? But my main job was I worked on a bread truck, right? I would drive to Newark, down to the Jersey Shore, all the restaurants, our buddy, right? All the restaurants at the Jersey Shore, that's what I did.
You were a yeasty boy.
I was Yeasty Boy, sure, instead of the Beastie Boys. I got you there. I got you. Okay, stop. So, go to graduate, Seton Hall. And unfortunately, because I'm paying for my own education, I didn't pay the bill in full. So I got they didn't even give me the plaque yet, right? So I couldn't get my transcripts. And Lehman Brothers, Goldman Sachs, at the time, Merrill Lynch, high tier guys, not getting interviews without your transcripts, right? They don't know who you are, what you are, what you did. So I had to go to, Bob, the second tier financiers. The second tier financiers, Bob. Not good.
No.
Not good. Okay, I'm sorry. So have you seen the movie Boiler Room?
I have not.
Okay.
I've been in one, though.
Yes. So very similar, right? So if you did see it, it's every bit the truth. The way this movie goes is they give you get on the desk, they scream at you like you're a piece of poop. And they tell you, sell, sell, sell. Don't worry about what it is. Pump it and dump it. Call your friends, call your family. I don't care what it is, just we're going to make a ton of money. I can't do that, Bob. You know me so. I can't screw people. That's not
you have morals and ethics.
Yes. Called up my dad. I said, Dad, I can't do this.
Right.
We have to do something together. And in my dad's broken accent, he goes, okay, you will come a Homa. So I went a Homa, and we figured it out.
Right.
So me and my dad started an Italian distribution company, right? So my dad was from Italy. He spoke Italian. My dad spoke 5 languages. He had a lot of contacts in Italy in the food business. So we started importing tomato sauce. We started importing olive oil, all the cheeses, everything.
Right.
And since I was on the bread truck, I would sell it. This is 1991, Bob.
Right.
Right. Just graduated.
Yeah.
1992 comes. I go to work at the restaurant. That's where our office was.
Right.
My dad's on the floor, passed out. I look, call the ambulance. What's going on? Get him to the hospital. It's okay. Your dad had a small stroke. Not a problem. Go home. Get a phone call. 12 o'clock. Your dad's dead. Come to the hospital.
Oh.
I'm not even exaggerating.
Yeah.
Your dad's dead. You got to come to the hospital.
Yeah.
Come to the hospital. You can just imagine. My dad was 49 at the time. I'm 23.
Right.
Devastation.
Right.
My dad still has the restaurant. He's the matriarch of the family. Me and him have a budding business, but he speaks Italian.
Right.
I do not.
Right.
Right. So it was a bit of a poop show.
Yeah.
So fast forward, that was my first exit. I sold that business. Pennies on the dollar, but I sold that business. And I was still doing the bread truck, right? So me and my sister rallied around my mom. My mom had hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt because the restaurant was not doing well.
Right.
My dad was a proud man from Italy.
Sure.
He wasn't telling any of us that how bad things were.
Yeah.
My mom's not going to go bankrupt. That's not going to happen on my watch. So I drive 7 days a week in the bread truck. Fast forward, my buddy that owns the bread route, goes, John, you want to buy? I'm looking to get out of half of this.
Right.
You want to buy half the route? I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So long story short, 1 truck goes to 2, 2 trucks goes to 4, 4 trucks goes to 8, and I'm building a little bread empire.
Got it.
Right? We're right around late 90s, early 2000s at this time. So as we get to that time, everybody wants fancy bread, Bob. People want galleta olives in their bread. They want walnuts, pecans, all these things in their bread. I was dealing with old-fashioned Italian bakeries out of North.
Right.
They looked at me like I had 9 heads. They're like, we're not doing that.
Right.
Now, I remember my parents bought the building, right, the restaurant. We leased that building to another restaurant.
Yep.
Right? So at the same time, those restaurateurs are like, listen, we're out. We're having some problems with our partnership. I go to my mom. I'm like, listen to me. Listen, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to build a bakery, a restaurant, and a coffee house, all in the same building.
Go for it, right?
And she looks at me and goes, okay, I trust you, but I don't know. Do you know anything about baking? I'm like, I know nothing. I know nothing.
Right.
Long story short, we built the Harvest House. That's how it started.
Harvest House and brick.
Harvest House and brick, right. We had sold that building, so we turned it in. Several years later, the closed down the restaurant. Did I mention that I hate restaurant business?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's a little thing for your audience.
Okay.
Don't do a business that you hate.
Right.
It won't go good.
Yeah, it won't go well.
Shut down the restaurant, shut down everything except for the wholesale. That took off.
Right. So, but briefly, once the bakery was established, you were very successful.
Phenomenal.
Right.
So successful that I bought a 20,000 square foot building in Farmingdale. We kept that building, turned it into a daycare. We had tenants that were terrific. We just sold that building. And we were off to the races.
Right.
Now, so I built that building. I had gotten married to my current ex-wife. Is that a thing? Current ex-wife?
Yeah, I mean
the
terminology is
weird, but right. So my ex-wife, we'll go with that.
Right.
And when we met, I said to her, well, what do you want to do in your life? She was working at an accounting firm. She's like, well, I want to own an ice cream store.
All right.
No problem.
Right.
We'll
there you
do
go.
that.
All right. So
go on our honeymoon.
Right.
Come back. We build one of the Shore's best ice cream stores.
Right. That was in Lavallette.
in Lavallette, New Jersey. Summer Sweets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, you were all buns a-glazing with the bakery, and then you got ice cream shop, which you've sold recently, both of them, right?
So 2018 comes, Bob.
Okay.
Right. And I'm going to the gym a lot, and my back is killing me. Like, what the heck is going on? Go to the doctor. Long story short, diagnosed with rectal anal cancer.
Yeah.
But Bob, I can't just be diagnosed with cancer.
No.
I'm diagnosed with a rare, supposedly almost deathly cancer.
Scary stuff.
Doctor looks at me and goes, John, it's not good. You gotta get your stuff together.
Right.
I'm 49.
Right.
My dad passed away at 49.
Yeah.
I have 2 young kids and a wife. I'm like, this is not happening again. I'm having deja vu.
Yeah.
So I looked at my wife at the time and I said, we're selling everything.
Yeah.
Properties, businesses, everything we own, we're selling it.
Right.
Because I want to put a war chest in the bank So God forbid I'm not here. You'll be okay. Kids will be okay. Right? So we did that. We started selling everything. They zapped the poop out of me. They chemoed me. Nothing worked. They said it wouldn't work, but they tried. They come up to me and say, listen, we have a radical operation that we can do on you. To be honest, it could kill you or it could save your life. I'm like, I'm in. 27 hours of an operation. Bob. 27 hours. And I flatlined probably 2 or 3 times in that. It was not good.
Unbelievable.
So came out of it cancer-free.
Great.
They took everything possible out of my body.
And no less handsome than you've always
Thank you very much. You're the only one that says that with your beautiful eyes.
No, but seriously, John, you've been through a lot, and I'm glad that everything has worked out. Very happy for you.
Yes.
So what made you want to start the Berruti Success channel?
So I am 52 at the time. By the time I got through all that, I had to do, I couldn't walk, I could barely talk after this operation. So I spent a lot of time in the bed. That's not a great place for a psycho like me. Bob. Had a lot of time to think.
No crosswords are not going to help you.
No. But that being said, you know, I had started kind of, when I owned the bakery, I kind of, at night, 12 o'clock at night, I followed a guy, his name was Gary V. He's like, everything's going social, blah, 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 you got to do it. So I toyed with it. In the bed, I said, okay, what do I want to do? If I'm going to live, what do I want to do? Not doing brick and mortar again. That I'm not doing. Internet's it. Social media is it. I'm like, fine, you know what? I'm going to go all in on my YouTube channel. I love talking about business. I could talk to anybody, any day.
Noticed.
For hours about business.
So
So I doubled down and I created Berruti Success.
All right, so it's doing very well, and I very much enjoy it. You should, we'll have the address. It's, you go to YouTube at Berruti Success. Yeah, so,
and that's all across all social media. So it's everything, Twitter, all that stuff, Berruti Success.
Got it. So I wanted to go over some recent topics while we have you here for a few more minutes. And this one video you did, it's already got 40,000 views. It's been out for a month.
Thank you. Yes.
9 recession-proof businesses or side hustles for $0. Which, you know, you probably
so I had one troll. I had one troll that said, and I have, Bobby, my comments are amazing. The people that comment,
great engagement,
amazing. Right. One troll's like, it's not for zero. You know, I'm like, it's pretty much almost for zero. But listen, people are miserable in their jobs. Right. They're miserable. Nobody wants to. I shouldn't say nobody. Some people love their jobs.
I do.
Yeah. But people want to escape. They want that extra income. They want that, even if they don't want to leave their job, they want to have the ability to, like, I'm going to start a side hustle and maybe that'll turn into a job. So I hit a nerve. I hit a nerve. And it just went to the moon.
Another one, 10 things I wish I knew about business at age 20.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of things.
What is the, I should
know
ask,
your numbers. Know your numbers.
Okay.
Bob, I'm a finance guy, right? I told you that. But when you're in
boiler
business, boiler room. When you're in business every day and you're working on a truck, you're baking bread, you're doing all these things. There's no time. But it's so important to know your numbers. And not only that, people. So you put those, forget about the other 8. You put those 2 things, get great people and know your numbers. And you're golden.
And work ethic.
Didn't think enough about those. I'm sorry.
Another one, biggest mistakes as an entrepreneur. Give me one.
Biggest mistakes as an entrepreneur. I hate to go back to the same thing, but hiring and keeping the wrong people too long. Not letting people go. Hire fast, hire fast, fire slow, but fire people. And I didn't like firing people. You know, and it almost brought me down a couple times.
Well, you probably, like, you know, you don't want to take somebody out, right? I mean, you want them to survive.
No, but I had key people that I shouldn't have. You know, and key people that didn't take me to where I wanted to go.
And last one, John, 15 and a half steps to selling a business. I'm like, did you really count these?
Yeah. No, listen, I got, there's probably about 100 things to selling a business, right? Here's the biggest one. Start. Bobby, I can't tell you how many years I said in the bakery business, I got to sell it. I got to sell it. And my customers, I got to sell it. You know what? Go and sell it. Make the phone calls, call the brokers, do what it takes, and you'd be surprised on how many people are interested.
All right, John. Well, listen, in closing, folks want to go see your videos.
Yes.
It's at,
hopefully.
Yeah, no, they should, and you should definitely subscribe to this channel. It's great. YouTube.com at Berruti Success. And the website, John, is thebestbizlife.com.
It's my blog and website, yes.
John Berruti.
Bestbizlife.com.
Thank you so much for being here.
Bobby,
and
thanks for
sharing
having
your
me.
wisdom.
Thank you very much.
All right. And thank you all for joining us on NJBI's Minding Your Business. We'll see you next time.